Nope.
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
So we're here to update you guys on the upcoming cycle. We wanted to start doing these videos so that you have a little bit more of an understanding about what we're doing.
You know what's coming.
I think that our programming is hard to tell sometimes what the cycle contains because there's so many exercises. We're training so many different parts of the body, but we're also not hitting a ton of volume and frequency on one specific thing. Reason being because what the internal strength model states is basically like you figure out what the intent is. So for example, you just want bigger quads. You train quad hypertrophy. What's the optimal way to stimulate that? We think it's a set to failure between 30 to 60 seconds. You put that request in, and then you just let stuff happen. Like if you keep going in and adding to that request, you're probably not going to get that much more boost out of it.
No, I mean, you get the same signal that's already been sent, but then you have more muscle damage to deal with. So that's less stuff available to grow muscle tissue if hypertrophy is your goal.
Yeah, and so the goal then is to wait until you're relatively recovered so that you can go hit it again. And if you try to hit it again and it's harder, not working, can't hit the same weights, you're still pretty fatigued, especially where strength is concerned, that's probably going to work against you because you want to be able to try to hit up into those, higher training capacities, basically. Like, yeah. So if you're always training so much that 90% always feels like 100%, it's hard for you to get to that 100% plus point. Anyways, you guys know what the internal strength model is about, hopefully.
We digress.
Yeah. So last cycle, we're just finishing up. We have this week and then one more week to close it out. We've been focusing on bench press, pistols, dips, one-arm deadlift.
Right? Yeah, one-arm deadlift. My favorite.
Reactive strength for push-pull, upper body, pistol mobility, slightly more of the linear tissues in the capsule section. And then this up and coming focus, we're going to
keep some old school stuff in there. So we're going to do a hack deadlift. If you're unfamiliar, that's deadlifting with the bar behind your legs, which is a really awesome way to deadlift. Plus it increases your, a little bit of spinal flexion loading abilities. Why am I forgetting already? Oh, bench press. We're bench pressing.
Back to bench press. Grayson, has been really liking, so you want to tell a little personal story about your Bulgarian eccentric and good morning eccentric? We're going to toss these into an alternating kind of basis. So we'll do like a back squat strength, and then the kind of connective tissue input for the following week will be this Zercher Bulgarian eccentric.
And a Zercher good morning eccentric, or RDL.
Alternating
they're kind of similar.
With the hack squat.
Yeah. I've been down a rabbit hole of doing these heavy eccentrics lately. I've been probably including them for like the last 6 months, but I've seen some really awesome strength progress on them, and just my ability to even load this particular exercise by doing it like once every 2 weeks. So we're going to have some heavy focus on that, even though we're not going to do a ton of frequency like everything else. We'll try to do it in the most minimal effective dose, but it should carry over really nicely to some strength gains on your lower body pushing and pulling, but also even more importantly, in my opinion, on your robustness of the connective tissue in those locations, which you really can never have enough of. So it should be fun. Plus, you're going to get some really solid dosing on your Zercher abilities. You'll get some good elbow skin calluses. Not that you have to get those, but they're cool too.
Yeah. And if you're like me and you don't like Zerchering, you can load it in a non-Zerchery way.
Of course. Yep.
I just don't.
Can do regular, loading. I tried to get her to do them the other day too. She's not into it, which is fine. She doesn't like jiu-jitsu. She doesn't like doing Zercher stuff. Everybody's entitled to the things that they like, and we can still work on those qualities without doing them. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also same goes for if you're not interested in the old-time strongman lifts. Like, we're just trying to rotate through some different things to be fun and interesting, to hit as many broadband strength access. But if you don't want to do a hack deadlift, you can do a regular deadlift or a sumo deadlift or sandbag deadlift or whatever.
That's a cool aspect about them. I mean, that's a cooler aspect even of training this way, is that it does give you a lot more ability to plug and play exercises. Like if you just like a regular old deadlift, that's fine. You could plug that in instead of the hack deadlift or really any of these other exercises that we're putting in. I'll just leave you with, I think the incentive to doing some of the old time strongman stuff, even if you're not interested in it, is that it just gives you a little more variation on pushing and pulling from different angles, which has a nice carryover for the weirdness of life when we have to pick things up and whatever, carry them, stuff like that. I think there's a little more, a broader application doing some of the old school stuff. But, you know, again, it really comes down to what are you interested in doing and what sounds fun, because that's by far the most important thing. So
Right. And if you have a spine that flexes and extends well, if you have good awareness and control over those joints, you're progressively loading those joints, it's just as safe as any other exercise where
Totally.
you would load your flat back that is possibly a janky back on janky hips, but, you know.
yeah, I mean, at this point, our hope is that all of you who've been doing the program, this is excluding people who are new to the program, but if you've been doing the program, you realize the foundation is joint and tissue specific training. Like, that's the majority of the stuff that we're doing, because that's what gives you a foundation to go layer on any other movement things that you want on top of it. But it's obviously important. That's why there's so much of it in the program.
Yeah. We're going to hit in the capsule section, we're going to focus a little bit more on knees and elbows and maybe some scaps. I think that's it, other than like the classic kind of rotating accessories.
Mm-hmm. We're going to keep bent press isn't going to go away. We're just going to keep it more in maintenance mode, by the way. And for any of those of you who really like the bent press, we don't really want to take it away. So
Yeah, things will come in on maintenance. So the way that our programming works is that we select a few mains, that are like a main strength push-pull kind of a thing, upper body, lower body, some mains for connective tissue, some mains for capsule work, things like that. And we focus on those, and those should sort of stay the same, or possibly, they don't. Like if it's like you're just trying to get better hip ER, there are different ways to load hip ER.
totally.
So maybe then it's the movement that we're focusing on. But then the other stuff kind of rotates in and out. So if you can start to kind of see
There are trends there. They can be seen.
It'll pop up, yeah. And we do typically run 8-week cycles. We also encourage you guys, if you're new, please reach out and set up an appointment with us. We do a free half hour for program members. Any questions, go. If you want us to look at a joint and help you troubleshoot a joint, like a mini assessment, we're game to do that. If you have questions about how to work the program, again, is like a maximal dose for people. We don't really expect most people to have the life and the time, and not having any other sports to play or whatever, to be just doing all of that work every week. Grayson trains 3 kind of ISM days a week, right? And then 3 jujitsu, and then we smatter in like
As
a
much
little
low
bit of neck
intensity
over here, a
cardio.
little bit of elbow over there, whatever we have time for.
And cardio.
And then we do, our cardio, 5-6 days a week?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yep. So yeah, anyways.
There's a lot in the program, and the reason
can
for
help
that
you.
is we want people to have options, but sometimes it's a little overwhelming when you first look at it. So yeah, and we love to meet the people who are doing this stuff too, so we can actually,
Yep.
see your face next to the name when you've completed your workout.
Yeah,
So,
you could easily make it like 2 ISM days and then play around with some of the Kinstretch classes and the conditioning. So
Yeah.
let us help you, or
Please.
at least let us help you understand how and why we're doing what we're doing. If you're new and you don't really know much about the internal strength model or functional range systems, please let us explain some things, because I think that for a lot of people just getting into it, it would be like, oh, this is like,
it just looks, it looks
it's
weird.
too much. But it's not too much, because you have a whole body that you're not going to be able to target in, like a couple little teeny push, pull, squat, bench, dead,
Yeah, those are good things.
Dead
There's just a
pull-up.
lot more that your body requires than that. And
Yeah.
So our goal is to really just proactively hit all those things that you need to function well and seek performance, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Or just, last
Little
long.
muscles in your fingers will start to atrophy. Little muscles in your feet and knees and face and neck, and
Yeah.
all of it has to be trained. I guess that's it, right? That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. All right.
cool.
If you have questions on any of this, please reach out.